Hi everyone, it's Heather here from Playing with Paper Crafting for our regular Monday morning meeting. So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about a really cute little new tool that you're going to be able to get from Stampin' Up! In January. And I'm going to show you how to make just a little cute treat holder that you can use to take to some, just a little Christmas cheer to your neighbors in this pandemic time. So I imagine most people will be staying home at Christmas, and this way you can just brighten everybody's day a little bit. So I'll be using the mini coffee carrier and the mini coffee cups, and then I'm using a retired sweet cup. I think they're called the sweet cups, and those were in an occasions catalog a couple of years ago, and I had so many of them, and I just wanted to use them up. But you could make a box, or you could use any number of things that we have. You can make a little bag. You could use some of the gusseted bags that we have. Anything that would fit in the other side. So there's lots of alternatives. But I'm just going to show you how I did this. And what I'm going to put in them is interesting. I just found out, and you probably already knew this because I'm a little behind the times, but I just found out that you can make hot chocolate bombs. So you make a little shell of chocolate, and then you fill it with cocoa powder and marshmallows, and then you meld the two, put the two halves together, and then drizzle chocolate over it, and like peppermint and all that kind of thing. So then you put the chocolate bomb in your mug, and you pour hot milk or hot water over top of it, and you have hot chocolate. I just thought that was really cool. Like the chocolate shell breaks apart, and they don't look that hard to make, so I'm going to give it a try. So what I'm going to do is put in the mug, I'm going to put a couple of hot chocolate bombs. I'm going to make some bark, and you guys probably have heard of bark, so I'm going to make chocolate bark, maybe with almonds and peppermint or whatever. So and just take that to the neighbors, leave it on their doorstep. I won't make contact. That's what I'm going to show you today. I'm going to show you, now I did not get the framelits that go with the Heartwarming Hugs bundle. And because of that, I had to figure out how to do this on my own. I'm going to show you how I did it. And I had to do the same for this. The problem is that you have to sacrifice one of the holders in order to do it. So much easier if you have the actual containers. So I used the Heartwarming Hugs paper for all of these. I made a little 3x3 card here, from our house to your house. That's coming undone. I used the Snowman Season, which is, that's in the annual catalog, so we don't know if that's retiring. And I used the Wishes and Wonder bundle for this part, for the little badge on the front, which says Made in the North Pole. Express delivery. So everybody will think Santa himself delivered this, right? Yeah. Okay. So let's start with wrapping the cups. Now I only had 4 of these mini coffee cups. They are not retiring, so you can still get these. I think I'm right. Correct me if I'm wrong, Amy. But so I didn't want to sacrifice any of them, but I did have some paper cups that were approximately the same size. So I sacrificed one of those. And what I did was I cut one up and opened it up. So you can see that if it is together, it looks like a cup. But when you open it up, it looks like an arc, right? So what I'm going to do is take my paper like this, and I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to lay the arc on the paper, and I'm going to just trace it on the back side so that it doesn't show up. And then on one end, I'm just going to add a bit of a flap. So, there. And that's just a rough little flap there. Use the end here to make it nicer. Okay. And then I'm going to cut it out. Yeah, the carrier is retiring, but not the cups. Yeah, and the dies aren't, but the stamp set is. The two stamp sets are, I think. Okay. So now that we've got this, then we will be able to wrap it around our cup, and oh, that's a really tight fit. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just add a little bit of, I'm going to use Seal Plus, and I'm just going to add it to the outside here. And then I'm going to add it at various places along the inside, just to make sure it stays where we want it. And I'm going to have the seam located at the back of, let's move this around here, where the seam of the coffee cup is. And then we'll move it around and overlap it. It's just barely overlapping. I think we need to move it down a bit. So it depends on where. Luckily this cup has a bit of a waxy finish, so so it's obviously dependent on whereabouts on the cup you put the wrap. If you try to put it too high, then it doesn't fit as well. And then give it a good rub as you go around. Okay, and then we can put the little lid on. And that one is ready to go. Okay, and now we'll do the same for this sweet cups. I had a ton of those, so I didn't mind sacrificing one of them. So I want the this cute little pattern on white to show, so I'm going to turn it over to this side and trace it. Make sure that I get a nice dark line. Got my arm in the way, so you probably can't see what I'm doing. And then I'm going to add maybe a much bigger size flap this time. There. there we go. Get rid of our scraps here. And again, I'm going to, on the inside, just add some Stampin' Seal Plus, the strongest of our two adhesives, and the one I would use whenever I'm doing a three-dimensional project. So that's how this one looks. And we just slip on the lid. Now we want to decorate the lid a little bit. So I used the Layering Circles dies to die cut a scallop circle. And I'm going to add that to the top. Again, I'm going to use my Seal Plus. Just add quite a few there, and I just want to make sure that I'm getting it even, the spaced around the top there. And then I used the 2-inch punch, circle punch. And all this paper, by the way, is from the Heartwarming Hugs Designer Series paper, which, surprisingly enough, is not retiring. So this is the 2-inch circle punch. So I just punched this quickly out from the Designer Series paper. This is the same design as the one I'm going to put on the carrier, the mini coffee carrier. Okay, so. And this little container is what I'm going to use to put, excuse me, it's what I'm going to use to put the bark in. But there's a lot of things. I have on my YouTube channel, I have how to make a bag, so a custom sized bag. So you could go there and make a bag using the same paper, and then you'd have a way of, you know, something a little bit bigger that you could use to put the bark in, or whatever treat it is you decided you wanted to add. So here we have our two treat holders. This for the hot chocolate bombs, and this is for the bark, or pretzels, or chocolate covered pretzels, or whatever it is you want to add. Okay, you don't even have to make it, you could buy it. All right, so let's go on to the mini coffee carrier. So they come in a package, and I'm going to say there's 8 of them in a package. I think it's either 8 or 10, but I'm pretty sure it's 8. And they're flat like this, so you have to open them up like this. And I'm just going to twist it the other way, and that will help open it up straight. Now, it's got this interesting handle that's a little bit off center there. Whichever way you hold it, it's not quite centered. So then to do this bottom, I don't know if you can see this, to close it, the first one that you want to fold over is the one that looks like a C. Then you do the sides, and they tip over into that hole there. Okay, and then the last one you do is the tab, and the tab slips into the hole like so, and then it's secure. Okay, so that's how you fold the box. Now I'm just going to decorate the sides with Designer Series paper. and with the cardstock backing. So I'm using Real Red as the cardstock backing. Now all the measurements for this is on my blog this morning, and on my Facebook page I've given you a link to the blog so that you can find all the measurements that you need. But these ones are 5 5/8 by 2 1/8, and these are 5 1/2 by 2, and these small ones are 2 5/8 by 2 1/8, and these are 2 1/2 by 2. Okay. So I'm just going to use my Stampin' Seal and get that moving and add this to the Real Red backing. Again, this paper is from Heartwarming Hugs, and I should have a 1/16 of an inch border around the edge. So let me just make sure that I've got that on there straight. It's a little bit crooked. I like the seal, it gives me a little bit of wiggle room time so that I can straighten things out. There we go. And now I'm going to use the Seal Plus to add it to the carrier, the coffee carrier. Oh, that's strange. I've got a little bit of thread here, gold thread. Get rid of that. Okay. And I've got about 1/8 of an inch border around there. I'm going to use my bone folder to just make sure that that's really secure. Okay, so there's all the panels around the edges. Now, what I want to do is stamp, and then I want to show you the cutest little thing you ever saw in your life. Okay, so here is the stamp we're going to use, the North Pole Reindeer Air Freight. See, that'll just show everybody that they were actually cringled. Santa Claus brought it, right? So this is Old Olive that I'm using, which kind of goes along with the Heartwarming Hugs. And I'm just going to stamp that in the middle. Right, are you guys ready? Because I'm going to bring out the star of the show. We call it the Mini Boss, or the Stampin' Cut Emboss Mini. Look at this. Isn't this cute? This is the mini machine. And you are going to be able to, hi Kim, you are going to be able to buy this in January. Isn't this adorable? It does everything that the Big Boss does. So, did you time me? How long did it take? So we've got the main platform. We've got a cutting pad, and we have another cutting pad. And they're all numbered, just like the Big Boss. The Baby Boss. Let me see. It's not magnetic. So I have to be careful that it doesn't move. Okay, and then we roll it through. So cute. You can emboss with it. You can die cut with it. It does everything the big one does. But it's so portable. Look how small it is when it's all folded up. So light. It's awesome. That's what you take with you when you go camping or go to your kid's soccer game or something and you want to die cut. There you are. Oh yeah, for a retreat. And the world will open up again. You know, I know it's a little while yet, but it's going to. We just have to be optimistic. Okay, I also die cut this one. This is from the same North Pole Wonder Dies, and that's this die here, and they're meant to go together. So I'm just going to add a little there. That's enough. I'm getting adhesive all over it now. There, and I'm actually going to use some glue dots. Look how weird this is. These glue dots, instead of being on this part, ended up on the top. Has anybody ever had that happen before? Now mind you, I've had them for a little while, so I don't know if it's like they got rolled up wrong or something. Strange. Okay, so I'm going to add this. Now if I added it right under the handle, they'd be off center, so I have to center them. And it's almost like they're centered for the other side of the handle. Okay. So that in there, that in there. Now I'm going to tie a bow. Put this down here to put on that part. So I'm just tying a bow right off the roll of ribbon here. Once again, you tie the bow and it looks horrible, and then you play with it till it looks nice. Okay, and here are my ribbon scissors. I saw this really cute cartoon the other day, and it said, John almost made it into heaven until St. Peter found out that he used his wife's ribbon scissors to cut paper. I'm going to add a couple more glue dots here. Okay, now I'll add that right up here. Okay, and then I put a couple of the little jingle bells, which are retiring. I believe the ribbon is too. If you look on the retired list, most of the embellishments are like 50% off, so you can get good deals. And a lot of them are still available, so I'm just going to actually tie a knot, not a bow, and let the ends dangle, and then I'm just going to trim them off. This gold thread is actually from the annual catalog, so it's still around, and it's cool because you can fray the ends. You just unroll them, and then you can get kind of a neat frayed look to them. I don't want to spend too much time doing that right now, but you get the idea. There. Okay, so that's done. Now the last thing to do is the little card. So I'm bringing out the card here. It's a 3x3. So we're going to, so this piece is 6x3 and it's scored at 3 inches along the 6-inch side. And we're just going to fold it over. Then we've got another piece of this striped Heartwarming Hugs Designer Series paper that we're going to add. Okay, maybe I do my ribbons differently because I'm left-handed. I mean, I'm pretty ambidextrous, but there are some things that my left-handedness changes, and maybe that's one of them. It's just that things I do differently because of that. Okay, then I'm going to stamp a couple of things. So I'm using Memento ink, and I'm going to stamp the adorable little snowman from Snowman Season. I love this little guy because he looks so joyful. I'm just going to stamp him up here. And then I'm going to put From Our House to Yours. So I guess as soon as they open the card, they'll know it wasn't Santa. I'll just change that perception right away. But as they're adults, I'm sure they had that figured out anyway. Okay, that didn't turn out very well from the bottom. Let's try the other side. That's better. Okay, so we'll put this little square on the inside, and then we're going to use the punch to punch out the little snowman. This is quite the project, I tell you. But really, you know, when you look at it, it hasn't taken all that much time. Okay, so I'm going to punch out the little snowman and add him to the middle of the front of the card. With my seal. And the last step is I'm going to put a little hole in the corner here, the top left corner. Yeah, I know. I've seen you use those snips, Doreen, and it is amazing to watch. This is a crocodile. You can't get these through Stampin' Up! Anymore. I don't know if you can get them somewhere else. And this one, I'm going to put right through. It's really strong. Then I've got some more of that same gold cord. So I'm just going to fold it in half, feed the folded end through, and then pass the ends through the loop like that. And then I can tie it around. Thank you, Amy. Yeah, I wish they'd bring it back too. It's a really useful tool. I use it quite a bit. And then I'm just going to tie a bow. There we go. And there's the project all finished, except of course for the treats. So that's all I have this morning, unless anybody has questions. And I will see you again next Monday, and then I'm going to take a break until after Christmas. I really want to spend some time with my hubby and online with my kids and my grandkids. So I'm going to take a couple of weeks break, and then we'll be back after the new year.